And after a little bit of a break from getting in on our first match towards our second match, we're back with more College COD on week number 2. My name is Seymour. With me is Proper, who's significantly taller than me right now. I gotta fix my chair, Andy. I can't have this stand. Oh, bring it on down.
I'll just cast the entire series like this. Don't worry about it. My lower back is not going to hurt in the morning at all. It's okay.
I just head
We're back,
the
man.
name tag.
You know what's awesome, by the way? I don't know if the casters definitely did hit on this in the opening series. We have ranks out. We got the number 21 going up against the number 10 right now, Colin. Yeah, sink on into that seat. Get your butt nice and cozy. This one about to be a doozy.
Yeah, no, this is big because even yesterday when we were looking at some teams from the top 25, it was cool how in week number 2 you can really differentiate, like, okay, are these top 25 rankings really accurate right now? And we actually almost had an upset yesterday against Wichita State University, although Wichita did walk away on top, still the number 9 in the top 25. For these two teams, Texas State especially being the number 10, this is going to be a big one for implications on whether or not they hold up for their placings. So when we even look towards the standings on, you know, how each team is shaping up after these 2 weeks have been played, it's going to be cool to see how this shakes up after the series, because both of these two teams in the head-to-head, they're undefeated. They haven't lost yet. One of them, that's going to have to change today.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about this Western Sun Belt region that has always been just insanely competitive. Like you think about some of the teams that are down here. You got the Sooners on one side, the Bobcats obviously having that stain on the record. It was a 3-point loss on Exposure Hardpoint in their 3-1 win versus the Comets out of UTD Dallas. So I know that our observer, Megan's going to be watching this one intently. But regardless, like there's just always so much competition that comes out from this side of the ocean. Again, we know that Texas always has a lot of good infrastructure when it comes down to esports, Colin. So never want a bad eyelash when it comes down to this region. The Aggies are also a part of this party as well, which the Oklahoma esports roster were able to dismantle 3-0 in their most recent match. It was a 7-point win on the Colossus Hardpoint, 6-2 Colossus Search and Destroy, and then a 4-3 Scar Overload. So very competitive, but the Sooners are coming to play this year.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I think that for a lot of teams, especially teams that have a notable, you know, backing when it comes down to the school's notoriety, even outside of esports, it's cool to see them start to shape up in their esports programs, and you start to look at, you know, a team like Oklahoma University, and you know, these guys are here to play. These guys actually fry inside of the server, and I love to see it. 2-0 across the board for Oklahoma University. Texas State, they do have a blemish on the record in that hardpoint category, 2-1. So in one of their series, that game 4 might come back to haunt them against another team trying to test them inside of the CCL. So looking towards the maps, we can really break things down, Andy. And you were a little bit surprised when we were kind of eyeing up what to expect. You know, we get a little bit of a double scar ban out of Oklahoma esports, but for Texas State, they're like, okay, we just don't want to play Colossus right now.
Yeah, but I just don't know why the exposure's still there if that's the one map that you lost to the Comets, right? I mean, like, outside of, like, that 247, 250 exposure hardpoint loss, like, maybe they just came in flat. Maybe they came in, like, doing some weird stuff. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't present for it. But, like, they smacked them on the back 3 maps of that series, but it's a stain. So yeah, maybe that's why it's there. They want to, like, test it. And albeit like a 10 versus 21, like you could take that risk being 2-0 before the shakeup does occur. But we're all just throwing stuff at the window and see whatever sticks and slides down to the bottom first, right? I mean, we get a good square up. Den Hardpoint map number 1 is gonna a good square to see where these teams are stacking up, playing for the objective first. How early are they going to rotate? They a breaking team. They do better holding their irons with their ARs. I think that Den's going to be a good showcasing of all that. And then Raid Search and Destroy. We talked about it yesterday in the series that we casted, Colin. We're getting a lot of good nerdy things that are developing as far as that map is concerned. And the Scar Overload is I guess, as standardized as you can for the game mode, albeit maybe a couple months important to this date in Black Ops 7.
Dirty stuff for sure. You know, I think one thing I'm going to miss is the smokes and the snipers. Hear me out.
Are we adhering to that right now? We doing that?
I was going to say, like, hear me out, College COD players. Like, do we really have to listen to GAs in College COD? Like,
are we gentlemen?
Like, we can just not listen to them and, you know, be gentlemen, but gentlemen who use snipers and smokes in search and destroy, I wouldn't mind that, Andy. I wouldn't mind that at all.
I think that the whole idea of like using smokes, like the way that the smokes like are intended to work, is you just don't be all about it, you know? Like that's pretty much what it comes down to. I think that that's fine. I think the snipers are okay. You just run at them.
It's fine.
Like, really. Like
Everything's
snipers in Call of Duty like have been outplayed for so many years, and I get the understanding like we want to get rid of the aim assist, and like if Treyarch could develop it to not be on the sniper, whatever, but like, dude, you get that first blood and that sniper's on an island, he has to watch one angle and the other numbers could just get on the opposite side. So I just don't see the argument for being overpowered at all. But to come back to us here, I am very much so with you here, Colin. I agree. Keep the snipers in.
Just blitz. Just blitz. Word to Travis McLeod. Just, you know, do not let that sniper get... you know, it's easier said than done sometimes because, you know, it takes a good sniper to get to that position and find those first bloods. You know, it's definitely something that is punishable, though. And we've seen that so often. CDL, CCL, Challengers. I mean, I feel like the snipers have been so good this year. I don't want to see them go away, and it hurts my brain. But as we kind of reel things back into the series, Andy, and we kind of talk about Texas State Esports getting ready for this Den Hardpoint against Oklahoma Esports, I think the fact that you pointed out the issues in terms of that exposure Hardpoint coming in as that map 4 puts some real emphasis on the start of this series for Texas State. If it does go to 4, if it does end up being an upset where Oklahoma Esports beats you because of that map being in the pool, that raises some questions. It's only week 2. This might be the number 10 team versus the number 21 team, but it is only week 2, Andy. So it still has that conversation of, you know, do we really know exactly how good these two teams are when it comes up to that matchup itself?
Yep, and realistically, how good the rest of the region even looks like. Like, I still think that like the whole top 25 committee have a real tough task ahead of them, albeit like a lot of them on the committee are within like the scrims, and like they're seeing a lot of these results and they're seeing the teams stack up against each other. But like these guys are forever learning, both in and out of the classroom, and some of them are competing in challengers. Like these numbers constantly get shaked up vigorously through the early stages as far as the season is concerned. So it's really tough to be able to gauge like maybe one team came in flat, maybe one team is just figuring things out a whole lot sooner. And like you were talking about before, Mr. McLeod himself, like the team that blitz better together typically is going to do quite well.
Exactly. And if you guys at home are looking to be a part of the top 25 committee, Mr. Brogan LL, he said today in the announcements channel that if you're looking to be a part of it, they are looking for about 7 to 8 members for the top 25 committee to still help out with that. If you think that you could put up some better top 25 standings than they can, go fill out that form. Go be a part of it because like I said, there's a lot of weeks still left in College COD, and there's still so many opinions that I want to know about who thinks the better school is when it comes down to those top 25 standings. But how that will shake up in week 3, we still got so much time to figure that one out, and we still got a little bit of time before we get into this match as well. So as we get ready for this Den, we're going to take a step back, throw it to a break, and we'll come back when the map is ready, everybody. You know, I make promises. Sometimes I don't live up to those promises. This time, it's not one of those times. We got game number 1 ready to go. Oklahoma Esports, Texas State Esports, Den Hardpoint, Andy. Both of these two looking to kick off this series with a win. But for Texas State, you might want to say it means a little bit more on their side.
Just can't believe you would out yourself like that, Colin. The honesty is so keen.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's just you just need the truth.
You gotta be truthful to yourself, man, and you can be truthful to the rest. 26 seconds off the rip, though, for the Boomer Sooners, and, I mean, they're looking pretty darn skippy for themselves, albeit from the top window side. You got one player, Matty Ice. He's making for his run about over by the roof shingles. He'll get met immediately by Ferg. We didn't really touch up on this during the preamble, but a lot of familiar names inside of the Zay player lot going.
I mean, Matty Ice, Lando, Kensei. You got Doa, Splody, a couple of new ones that I'm excited to see. Ferg, Summits, T8. T8?
Pretty sure Tate was there last year.
Yeah, okay, Tate. I keep saying T8 like this guy's going to make... Like, he's making a Sunday right now. He's playing all the time.
Top 8 sucks. Well, Cup sucks. A Cup sucks. Sorry. I'm saying... My brain is still at the major. 3 in the feed immediately for Texas State. It's a good break for them. This is a lot of good time. And I mean, if you are Oklahoma, maybe you send 1 or 2 numbers towards this. They're actually setting an onslaught all the way through mid for a very late break.
Texas State Esports, it was a slow start off that P1, but you get a little bit of time for P2. You keep this one respectable in that P3 rotation, and you already have a player battling. It was Ferg. He loses that battle, and the Boomers, the Sooners, they're already there.
Texas State, though, they got dojo control. Lando. Yeah, I was thinking the barrel might be poking out, but it's also an easy thing to be reading. 3 immediately in the feed. He comes from that flip, and that's going to come back to bite them in the rear. Remember from the end of that previous hill, like, the Sooners did elect to hit for that old time. They chose to be on the side.
They did, and now they have to work with those punishments. 3 go down, Splody for 2. That lead that Oklahoma Esports had off the opening rip is quickly diminishing now for Texas State Esports. The Bobcats want themselves a lead chain, and they have 1 more wave to work through before that happens. Doa fully pinned down on that dojo line of sight. He's going to get shot in the back. The Sooners holding on to this lead. They have the better side for the rotations.
Yeah, they do. They got that top window control. I believe that Lando's actually down low. Certainly looks that way. And you're just going to be playing for a couple exits. You got mid-control. Big gunfight. Window just stays in that one. He's got assistance now from Splody. They can start this push all the way through weapons, maybe manifest some death control. Kenzie does find 2 over by Dojo, so it will keep the Bobcats honest, but they get rooftop spawns, Splody. So they can start overwhelming things here. Splody finds another couple in the feed. He's now on 4, 16 and 5.
Says, hold my drink. Watch this. 16 and 5 on 4. Not able to make that 5 in a row. Cut down. The Bobcats quickly losing numbers. Ferg trying to lock down some more time. He gets 2. The spawns are lost in the back, and he knows it. He's surrounded. He's broken. And the Sooners just barely holding on to this lead that they got at the start of the game. 24 seconds. And it looks like the Bobcats are going to take 1 more swing at it. And, of course, it's Splody opening up the floodgates. 3 down for the Sooners, and the scrap time goes to the Bobcats.
This guy's for sure playing in Texas. He might be the server. Right. Oh, yeah. Come on. That is insane. Yeah, he's just beaming, man. 19 and 6. Up on that 3 spree. Give him 4. He might be good for a handful of more as the 20-point lead looks to grow. Let's go for a Bobcats listening.
Spawn out.
Yeah, we got to split. I have it. I have dojo. I have dojo to
the
yeah,
hold pinch. I got drop on time.
Right in front. All in front. 1 dojo.
My team's broken. I got you. Oh, what the fuck? Behind 1 shot. He's in P2. Down the time, 1 shot. 2. 1, you both trying out 1. That timing's horrible. I'm about to flank. 1
is weak beacon and 1 is
spawn dojo.
He's pushing our broken. We gotta try.
Couch. See anyone on 1 beacon?
Half of 1 time.
Couch. Anytime. He's stunned. Beat cut 1. Time dead. Beat cut last 1. I'm bumping up. Yeah. Wasn't new. I think wasn't new. Take. I'm playing. Take. Watch out.
Old weak can say.
Got me. In the back. You went deep?
What's left?
Yeah. Tate. One more people in couches right now. Couches.
They're gonna be outer. Should be front.
Funny outer.
I have got.
I'm trying to hold the back. In the back. One front. Yeah. He's outer. One push out the back. Oh, yo, back two. Stairs. Dead. Yeah, I spawned out front. Bro, he's still in the back.
Well, it's Splody's world. We're all living in it, and for Oklahoma Esports, they're actually not too afraid to live in it right now. Only a 10-point game, give or take, after 28 and 9 at Splody himself. A lot of time on the board from Doa, and the comms generally calm across the board for the Bobcats, Andy. But for Oklahoma Esports, it's the power of friendship that just continues to hold on.
That's all you needed right there, though, for one other player, for the Bobcats just to step up to find those 2 pieces. Be able to couple that along with Splody's 28 and 10 spree, but even looking from top to bottom, left to right in the score lines, like, it doesn't numerically add up. But the kills aren't too far away, and that would be the full-on reason why the score is what it is. Suggestive. The Sooners are all around 10. Stacked up for this hardpoint. They're watching the flank, and it's going to be a pinch from the dojo and over by the pin side.
Summit up and over. At least going to keep them honest inside the hill. Nobody collecting time right now for the Sooners. And Lando now all of a sudden in a 1 versus 3 situation. Good for 1 kill. And that gives time for Kensei to come into assist, but Slody for the turn on. And it's Lando again, just trying to keep himself in a contention. He's going to end up falling 17 seconds. You still have the better side right now if you're the Sooners, so it is not over just yet.
Nobody's watching mid this time, though. Free opportunity. It's like to be picked up. Lando is going to be late towards this. He gets shrugged away from the desk peak. Yeah, that Semtex is going to claim his life. 1 for 2. Spawn should be good now in the back for the Bobcats, and it certainly will be. So it is split spawns. Got Dojo presence coming through from the Sooners and also pushing from the rooftops.
You just cannot let that happen so quickly. The Bobcats lead now up to 40. Ferg in the back. Nice shots onto the first one. Caught in a gunfight, and the scrimmage is going to go his way because he's got Summit behind him. The slide out for Ferg finds his 5th in a row. The Bobcats holding on for dear life on this P4. Off the respawn, the rest of the team coming to Ferg's rescue as well. So you're starting to work out of the spawn into some power positions, making it even harder for Oklahoma Esports to break back into this hard point. With 21 seconds, they're making another go at it. With 3 dead, they get in for the scrap time. Much needed scrap time heading into the 3rd set.
And not the most impactful streak of Hellstorm on Den, but Ferg was just a moments away from getting, if he just laid down, got an assist or so, got some score generated from the hard point, maybe could have been a Hellstorm earn. But it's a 40-point gap now for the Sooners. Claw their way back from a 3rd, and I can only assume the final set of hardpoints in this map number 1 of this West Sunbelt matchup. Be Splody. Just absolutely leading the lobby, 33 and 14. Also getting the hardpoint time. He's got teammates top window beaming inside a top broken. Numbers and presence are on the hill for the Bobcats.
Somebody's got to make a play for the time. Lando into the dash. Nice shots in the first one. Tries to blitz it past Splody, but he's got eyes on the back of his head. 2 kills to push forward, 34 and 15. And the Bobcats is in full takeover now for the back half of this game. Oklahoma struggling to get some eyes on this hard point. Finally a break, though. 3 go down. And the Oklahoma Sooners are in.
Splody up top window, though. He knows that 1's still on the time. Just don't chow this guy, Lando. You just keep your head down. Here comes more assistance, so the pusher on the brick side. Splody just waiting for Kensei, just using his teams as human flash grenades, I'm sure. But now they can start flooding all the way forward. Splody's through top broken window. 37 and 15. Had a good look for 38. Teammates should be there for the trade, but it's Lando that doubles down. So the Sooners hold on to the rotation. You got deep spawns over by P4 for the Bobcats, and Doa's got to wait.
Good heads up patience, though, from Doe, and he gets 1. Split kill feed, and that's going to give Splody the go-ahead to push this hill. Summit alongside him. The Bobcats have broken the hill, and they are only 20 seconds away from taking map number 1. Sooners, what do you have inside of you right now? Can you make this happen? Doa cooking the nade for the drop in. Good shots on the first one. Snaps back to the second. Not able to swap to the M15, but his teammates are here. 3 down again. Last one of the hill is Kensei. Splody picks it up, and there is still so much time to put this map away. 7 seconds left. Everybody from Oklahoma running back to this hill. Another wave of kills for the Bobcats. And it might go to another one. We know how this game's going to shake up, Andy. Last kill comes through. The rotation anew. And Texas State lead us off.
Ooh, man, the Bobcats. Always fielding a very gritty team. I will say that much. If memory's serving me correctly for as long as I've been casting the CCL, these Texas State Cats, man, they always stay fighting. Sooners gave them a real good scrap for it throughout that first set. I mean, albeit a massive stat line for Splody at the end of the first set. Like, he was somewhere like double positive, like 22 and 10, I think he was at the end of P4 in the first set, but like, it didn't really matter until like you got towards like the tail end of that listen-in, saw the transition from 4 to 1 at the end of the second set, and then that's when they were able to start building off of that gap from a 20-point lead, then a 40, to then what you see here, 250 to 181. Team shots were on fleek. Everybody from the Bobcats were absolutely piecing things up. And it all started off with the Splody show. I mean, this guy was going on massive sprees, and albeit in a lot of isolation, very difficult to 1v4 in any Call of Duty, let alone on Den when your teammates are spawning in Boo-Foo. The Sooners were about to have themselves an opportunity to be able to walk away with this map 1 win. and maybe some momentum for the Raid Search and Destroy. But halfway through the second set, as we get through these replays, you'll see it happen where all the Bobcats start playing off of each other, good point of contact, good team shots, and then the overall takeover was soon to be dominant.
Sorry, I was just Googling to see if Goofy was a real place. I really had to know, but...
it's a real place, man.
You kind of hit the nail on the head, Andy, when we were watching through this first map, and you're talking about how it wasn't until Swody had really some extra help, and Ferg, in the end, really came alive in some of those hills. I mean, you saw him going a 5 spree, you saw him going a 4 spree. He really managed to pick himself up in this game number 1, and that's really when this thing split away from Oklahoma Esports, back over towards Texas State Esports, and they just took this game by storm. I mean, when we look at the stats now, this is a stat line that if your tactics looking at your team, that you're proud.
Yeah, walking in the shadow steps of tactic. Gosh, there was at one point where like Texas State, like all of their COD team were competing in like Collegiate Halo at the same time. Tactical was a part of that. A legendary roster. 41 and 17, 4,400 damage, leading the lobby almost in every single statistical category. 37 of those elims were non-traded, by the way. You see like the assists from like Ferg and Doa, and albeit like 2,700 damage isn't like the biggest stat line, it's still enough to be able to set up Splody with an M15 to get themselves in a position to be able to walk away with a lot of these kills. But not a whole lot of setup for this Raid Search and Destroy as the players are ready to get underway. Bomb is already moving its way over towards A, and we're in a 1v3 instantaneously. What?
No time wasted here, but...
All right.
He's going to back on down and take a new look at this. Take 2. And action. Cut. Oh, it was too late. My bad.
It has to be like the quickest turnover from 1 going into 2 I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like outside of like a cup. Like that.
I mean, I'd say even for a cup.
No, I've said like a cup like that you wouldn't have to like for any production value. Like they would just be okay. We're just gonna stay in the same lobby. And just
Yeah.
Put on in. Just go straight into it. Like no, we were in this thing just super fast. Typical.
Who do you think is the most diligent Challengers Cup player when it comes to starting a new game?
Starting a new lobby, like getting in the lobby and like getting everything created.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like Tyler Noisy like does and doesn't count because like he's like a retired Challengers player, but he used to be really good about it. I think Pentagram would also deserve a shout for that too. Right now in the modern age, I don't know. They're all pretty bad right now. I'll be honest. Probably Pro Loot. Pro Loot would be my shout immediately.
Yeah, Byron.
Yeah. Byron's a professional, man.
They keep the ball rolling when it comes to those cup matches. I'd agree with that one. I'd say, you know, even some like the new guns. I'd say Prada is a good one for that. He's always on top of things. But as soon as you bring up how good it's been, Andy, we're immediately back to the 2-box scam. And I've been kind of avoiding talking about it, but hey, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Don't really know what happened, guys, but we're getting this lobby back up for all these players, and as soon as it is, we'll jump back into that Raid Search and Destroy. First round will count, so it will be 1-0 for Texas State Esports after that first round just bang out that we saw from the attacking side. Andy, yesterday we saw a little bit of Raid Search and Destroy, and I guess we can talk a little bit about what we saw now changing with the exit of snipers and smokes, because beforehand that sniper would really catch some timings, whether it be towards top bedroom on the offensive side, or whether it be through the fight between Kitchen and Zig. Without the smokes, without the snipers, you have to imagine that this is just going to completely be full send every single round.
I mean, in the amount of time that it takes to get from one side of the map all the way to the other, I think you're probably going to be seeing some transitional phases of Raid Search and Destroy, much like what we had like in Cold War, like when the sniper was like slowly moving its way away from like these Zig pushes. The Cold War wasn't a slow game, wasn't exactly like the fastest game either. You could get like frag grenades all the way inside a kitchen, and you could get the same exact effect of having a sniper rifle, watching that angle and getting an SMG all the way up through P5 and then getting that open stair across. So like, Yes, but I think the tactics are going to be like changed up ever so slightly. But I do see your point. Like the pace difference as far as BO7 is concerned is going to change the dynamics of this game entirely. Without like the smoke grenades to be able to cover open stairs, then bull rush all the way over towards wheelbarrow, or to get money window just off of rip. It's going to be interesting to be able to see how it all plays out.
I just thought about Colossus with a sniper. That map just became even faster. How does that even...
Yeah.
Is like, how is that even allowed?
We're going to be in a very dark time. Hey, I don't know, but like, I mean, Benjay keeps on like tweeting that like he's going to be outing a whole bunch of people like on stream tonight. So like maybe we might get it reverted. I hope.
Shoot into the flank.
I hope we get it reverted, man.
I hope so. It was so good. Well, it seems like we just got a little bit of an update about what is going on, and one player has their shaders to update, and we all know what that means. It means that it's time to take a little bit of a break, because shaders take quite a long time. So we'll be back when the shaders are done, the raid is loaded up, and the players are ready to go. Well, we got our score at the top, and a reminder that Texas State Esports is still up 1-0 heading into this reset for Raid, Search, and Destroy. Round number 2 going quite similar to round 1. Numbers advantage for the Bobcats. Oklahoma, however, got bombed down.
Yeah, they got the bomb down instantaneously. Well, Texas State had the bomb down. They're on the offense. Yeah, colors are going to be a little bit confusing. Just look at the numbers, Callan. Don't worry about it. A lot of isolated plays about to be coming our way here. Matty Ice all the way to the backside of Art. And his teammate starts pushing out over by Laundry. So now Matty Ice all by his lonesome, out by Ring. It's only a matter of time here, young Matty. He runs out of bullets.
He
gets the kill at least.
You know what? Commiseration for kill right there. So you walk away with something, but Oklahoma Esports still trailing by 2 after that round, and they have a little bit of an issue going on, and that issue is staying alive at the start of the round.
Oh. Just like my rank play teammates.
Just like your ranked play teammates, which, as Twitch chat knows, wasn't me today.
It was not you today. It was not you. There's still time. There's still plenty of sunlight left.
As long as we can get through this series.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, we got through a second round of Search and Destroy, so anything's possible at this point. And, well, I mean, Texas State are looking to keep the ante up as they just 4-man hit through P5. They still find First Blood.
Oh, can't say. Looking for a trade. There it is. Ferg goes down. Can he stay alive? He does. Lando looking to find a second one. Can he turn it into 3? He cannot. Splody keeps things honest. 2-on-2. Both players on the Sooners separated on either side. Splody somehow gets away, and Summit's there to pick up the kill. Kensei in a 1v1, and Splody turns it around, staying alive, playing his life, winning the round.
Just lightning trades coming through. And that's what you have at your disposal. Like, if you have no mid-map control on Raid, it's just how it all works. I open stairs through pillars, overwhelmed with numbers, everything connects to itself. I mean, the moment that assistance from Summit comes through, he gives away his red dot, allows his teammate who was one shot to get a little bit of regen inside of red, and then reach out from Zig. And then Sploddy's able to find his second off of this recreation from the lobby, puts him up to 3-1. The 4-player hits just don't stop, man. They're like Pringles, man. Once you pop, the fun will stop. Look at him go.
Is this before or after the Pringles started dating Sabrina Carpenter?
I like to imagine he was a world of fun before.
Well, that can is looking to get closed now, as Sooners in the retake trying to find their way through. Ferg down low, gets the information on the one up top. Tate falls. It's good bedroom coverage. Lando, it's his turn now, but he slides out. He gets checked, and this is just shoulders being thrown. No lives being given. Ferg, another kill. Lando's surrounded by Bobcats, and that is not where you want to be. On a mountain,
and that's
on Raid, anywhere.
Well, isn't Raid, like, is the mansion's on a mountain, right?
Yeah, but, like, okay, like, I'm not familiar with where animals live. Do bobcats live in California?
God, I imagine not. Maybe not. Like, do they live in deserts? Because then yes. I don't know. I studied domestic animals, bro. I don't know anything about these wild animals.
That's why you don't.
I felt very pressured
me.
by your question, and I took it personally, as you can tell. 4-0 for Texas State. As the the Sooners said, "Wow,
okay,
that seemed like fun. We're gonna 4-player hit this, but we're gonna leave Lando as the tip of the spear. He's gonna get the pool peep. Nobody's through open stairs. Reason being is because the Bobcats are too busy squad deeping in the enemy spawn.
Well, you're suddenly going to be aware of this one. Nice pickup, and that's on a Splody of all people. Huge first blood from Kensei. Looking for a second one, and he is dominating the back line. Tate's going to follow up with a third, leaving Doa in a 1 versus 3. Now 1v2. 35 seconds to keep the score flawless for the Bobcats. Trying to hunt for their 5th round. Sooners still looking to put their first one on the board. As both players going to be tucked inside Tiki. Doa has yet to be seen, but he has yet to see anybody from Oklahoma Esports. So as you check these corners, as you try to be as vigilant as possible, that time continues to dwindle. With 13 seconds, it does seem like the Sooners, they know exactly where Doa is working from. And yeah, as soon as Tate throws that shoulder, doesn't matter if you find that kill or not, there is no time. And Oklahoma Esports will put themselves on the board.
You would never expect that in the 1v2 that the two players are playing body stacking, no trophy inside of Tiki. You would never expect that. And with the bomb being planted over here on poolside, I mean, wheelbarrow, money window. It's just so rare that you get like the double body stack inside of Tiki like that. But regardless, it's just an impossible situation that the egregious overextension Bobcats put themselves in. No immediate push there for the trade for Kensei, who was on the island watching the flank, and sets up the Sooners, who found themselves some footing on the offensive side of the bomb. Let's see if they can piece things together on the defense. This is where the Bobcats started the entire escapade. That 4-player hit over towards ring. Bomb's not being planted immediately. The bluff could be called. Most importantly, Tate's timing, it could have been impeccable, but it was devastating as someone was watching it from the flank.
Yeah, I think that Texas State Esports have been all over the flank watch. From the start of the series, even onto Den, Splody is unbeatable on an angle like that. 2 down, leaving Lando alive. The hunt is already on. 5th round in the blink of an eye. If anybody tuned out for even a second, you're wondering what just happened, but it was evisceration on the side of the Bobcats.
This guy just can't be stopped, man. 7-3. What do you have? Like 4,400 damage. He had like 43 kills in the first map. I don't remember. It was like an exposure overload ago. Just a long time. 5-1. And it just feels like that this is so far out of reach for the Sooners. They did piece together things on the offense. Last go of things, it was a 4-player hit over towards B. This time they're going over towards A. So I like this. Like, they're playing very easy, elementary Call of Duty, but they got to get the bomb planted quickly and get themselves a setup. Don't let the Bobcats work their way back in.
Oh, I was going to say, for a second, Splody was on the hunt for clues there. Seems like everything is being hidden in quite mystique now from Oklahoma Esports for this setup. Nice nade there from Lando. And it's going to give numbers back over to Oklahoma Esports. Lando, a second one, just locking down the back of the map. Everybody now, all you got to do is hold Ferg away from this bomb site, and you got yourself a second round. Ferg for the 1v3 in 20 seconds. Let's see if he can get anything going. Let's see if he can make it a little bit of fun. He's going to take one down, and he's got no time to make anything else happen. Andy is just stuck behind laundry.
Oh, just smokes Kensei. Picks up his AR. Has a good look at Tate, at least for the 3 spree. And he's just going to go ahead and hit him with a good old spin. Kensei is going to get credit for the kill onto Tate. Like, what happened, man? I thought you wanted to go spin around, man. Could have gone dancing. 2 rounds in a row, though, now for the Sooners. Get names in-game where, fortunately, backwards is the nature when you have to restart the lobby for the 7th time.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, they're figuring things out. The 4-player hit over towards the opposite side. It's the same thing on the defense for Texas State. The 4-player retake's just not good enough. I mean, Splody playing with his food inside of red definitely didn't help, but still map point here for the Bobcats.
Oh, what a comeback this would be.
It would be.
The Sooners, Nando's been on one so far these past couple of rounds. This is 3rd in a row. As Stowe is going to fall as well. Brilliant nade from Tay. 2 versus 4 in the post plant. Ferg completely isolated away from Splody, and he's got to take this fight versus Lando. Still staying alive. Splody's got coverage for the bomb. Everything is coming up Bobcat right now. Ferg a second. That's going to pull the Sooners away from the bomb site, too. Ferg, a third one. And we got to go back to Matty now because he's got a desperate fight versus Ferg, and he doesn't even want to look him in the eyes right now. He's got to go to the bomb, check it, and see if he can do the unthinkable now against a team that just will not give up these rounds. Matty, 4 seconds in, hit is not going to happen. Oklahoma Esports fall to the hands of Texas State in map number 2, trailing this series 2-0.
6-2 there, the final score for map 2, and the 2-0 in the series, like you were talking about there, Colin. It's just one of those things that I think the early few rounds, you were able to, like, see the representation of Texas State. Like, they were able to get into the ballpark of like, getting some set nades, and then they realized we're just better than the opposition. Maybe they just learned that early on, because we didn't get to see fully for, like, that first round, but, like, at least for, like, the first round with the replay, got some semblance of, like, some tactician behind them, but, like, man, they just started running them down. Disrespectfully, might I add you. It took all the way until that round number 5 for the Boomer Sooners to try to replicate that same exact thing, but by that point, the game was just way too far gone.
Yeah, I think that Texas State Esports, they kind of recognized early on in that Den Hardpoint that Splody's him, and he could quite literally chow anything with pure confidence. Lando had a couple of good moments across the search and destroy, but I think as long as Splody's alive, Texas State have confidence that the round is still winnable. And towards the end, again, I mean, just like map number 1, Andy, Ferg starts to heat up in that last round, and that's kind of how map 1 went. It was the Splody show. When Splody wasn't able to provide, Ferg was right there to pick up the slack, and no matter what the Sooners did, it just didn't seem like it was enough in the long run to consistently keep this Texas State Esports humble. So going into this map number 3, the big question will be for Oklahoma Esports is really what can they put together to fix some of these mistakes, and I think it's going to have to be a real long conversation.
Oh, it's going to be a real long conversation for sure. I mean, you can hear the comms as well. Like, these guys are just laughing, man. Like, they're having a real good time with it as well. Like, you just simply cannot do wrong if you are Texas State. They are number 10 for the reason, for the top 25 committee, and for reasons that you can clearly see as well. Like you were talking about, Colin, like the 17 eliminations between Ferg and Splody, but a lot of that on the back end. 8 non-trade eliminations, 1,300 damage. He led the lobby, did Ferg with those 4 assists. And you go back towards that map 1 on the end of Den. And I was talking about the assists. I was talking about the damage from Ferg. Like, it's that front to back line consistency that you're getting out from Splody and Ferg that you would normally see from, like, an SMG's perspective. But, like, Splody's getting it done with an M15. It is basically the do-it-all weapon. I'm not on one side of the fence between the SMG and the AR. Don't tell me to sit on one side, Colin. I won't do it. But still,
don't do it.
These two guys are absolutely piecing things up. And when they're getting those team shots together, I mean, Summit, Doa, they just got to watch the flank or just throw, like, a shot or two towards the opposition, and they'll probably go down.
Okay, but if you had to choose one, like,
I think that the Drovic is definitely truly the do-it-all gun.
Yeah.
The range for an SMG should not be there. And also, I'm sorry, my only other argument for the opposite side, I will play both sides of the fence. How about this one? Why does the AR shoot faster than the SMG? Drops Mike on stage. There you go.
It's like the K-bar and like the E-Rad back in the day.
Yeah.
Just completely melts. Although you still had the MV4, so it leveled out. We had 3 guns in the meta. Word to the VS Recon, bring my boy back. And it worked. But for this one, yeah, you know, I mean, you make a great point for the M15. Why does it shoot so fast? But I think that's just because if it shot any slower, it would literally have no recoil. Scar Overload coming up right after this one. And this is, again, a situation where Texas State Esports are looking at Splody to carry the torch. He dropped, what, like 45 kills in map number 1, Andy? And, you know, for the rest of the team, like, it was serviceable in what they were providing. But Oklahoma Esports, you know, unbeknownst to what happened to them in that first map, they kept it very competitive at the start of the game. So if you can shake off what just happened in the search and destroy, this Oklahoma Esports team, they still have a chance to get this one to exposure.
I do agree. I like your points, but it's already late in the night, so I'm ready to play devil's advocate. That I just don't know, man. Because like look, like Den, like you have like the escape over by rooftops. Like it doesn't have like that mid connection immediately. Like you do have to go through like weapons or desk or over by couches to get towards that lane on the map. Scar is not like that at all. Like mid does connect quite fluidly out from top green church over by P2 back around blue. These guys are gonna start running circles around these guys, Colin. I'm sorry, like the Boomer Sooners are just not snuff to play up to the pace of the Texas State Bobcats, specifically number 7. Watch this arrow on the minimap, Splody. He's built tougher than a $2 steak, and he's putting them through the mixer.
That is a tough steak, too. I think the whole thing that I'm seeing, though, from Oklahoma Esports is that in map number 1, all 4 players had a good game. A pretty consistent game. I think the issue was that Splody just was unstoppable, and if you can start finding somebody who can go toe-to-toe with Splody, then this Oklahoma Esports definitely has what it takes to get this one going in map number 3. And with a good break-off, they have the map control, they have players split up, they just haven't been able to get that objective in their hand.
Tough side of the map to get things going if you are the Texas State Bobcats, but through slaying, they find presence in the middle of the map, and they got all these back boost spawns starting to manifest for the Boomer Sooners, but still not electing to pick up the objective. I mean, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. You're allowing the Boomer Sooners to recollect their numbers, get themselves around 10. Lando, low HP, still hits that. The device gets picked up. It's looking like a score.
Chance to get this one through. Tate slides it across for the detonation. And hey, look at that. Sooners, first one's on the board. Immediately, though, I like this call from Texas State. You do have Summit all the way through. Instead of going through the middle of the map and trying to get top green control, pivot over towards plane and try to work the other side. Deny this counter.
Oklahoma flipping it right back into Texas' face off of just dilly-dallying to the middle of the map, not picking up the OBJ. A team wipe turns into a score. Let's see if Oklahoma can rally behind that 1-0 lead with the Boomer Sooner. Listen in.
He's on our wall. They're all three there. I got ball.
One shot, in our back on my X. He's running bottom blue here.
He's running bottom blue.
Dead.
I'm not playing on the plane, dead. One more on the plane left.
Third P1, weak as fuck. He's one make up.
P1 dead. Nice reset. Spawning plane. One's mid cut on me.
Point heady.
Two mid cut. One back to P5.
Point heady still.
Cut challenge. What are you weak? Dead. Top
green, a bullet for.
Point heady. He's pushing up.
One back. Two P1 summit for. They're running shit to mid. Last two mid.
One shot Ferg.
I got him.
Another one should be there. What's up?
Whoa, dead. Nice.
All four.
I'm
gonna play
your red for you.
Coming left.
One shot.
Dead.
Missing Splody. Splody was P1 or some shit, right? Yeah, make up. He's useless.
Yeah, I got the. Top green dead. Nice.
Nice. We're gonna play that.
And with a follow-up, a shutdown at the goal line, the Sooners, they put that thing down, they flip it, they reverse it back to the other side. 2-0 lead, Andy. What are we watching?
Man, I wish I could truly tell you, but this is a coming up in age story. Kensei, Tate, by 21 eliminations between the two of them. This is something wildly different that we did not see from the previous respawn on Den. Mid control has always been theirs. They've been able to revert the pressure continuously. Texas State are starting to feel the pressure. Doa pushes out over by 10. He finds 2. Is that the opportunity to get to the backside of blue? But there's no angle for Doa to help out.
Oh, there it is.
On the 4 spree, he still challenges. 5 spree, easy pickings for the 6. But the score is nowhere to be found. It worked its way through blue. It's a miscomm.
Huh? Oh, someone still got a chance. At least he takes down Tate. He goes all the way. You know, it's the same outcome, just a few extra steps.
Yeah, with some Benny Hill music in the background.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, for the Bobcats, at least you're looking at this one. Is damage control for that first point on the board. Splody still in the spawn of Oklahoma Esports. And the overload device spawning up to the middle of the map realistically still actually gives a chance for Oklahoma to deny a rally from Texas State. So you're in a good spot to keep holding on to this lead.
Still an opportunity, though. Summit's got mid control. If he could stay alive inside of 10, it would be huge. He gets the reload off, and there's assistance as well. Bobcats and maybe try to work this, but Lando goes unnoticed. B cut. Here's the first. Overtime will ensue if the device is in the carrier's hands, but Summit gets taken down on the slide approach. So here comes the march all the way through P2 for the third score for the Sooners.
Splody trying to lock things down through mid. 5 seconds until that overtime clock will start. And it looks like player number 5, Summit, is hunting for this overload carrier. 2 kills on the map is going to allow these Bobcats to start to prowl down the map, see if they can shut this down early, and they go into the second half with just a 1-point deficit after what was a fantastic start from the Sooners in this map number 3, Andy.
Yeah, really was. But if you go back to like that one like little fumble, there was like a 4 dead and then a 2-for-1 exchange over by the front side of blue, where like the Bobcats were just like lurking P1. And like it was in one of those moments that I go back to like a handful of the rounds in the search. Is like to play with their food is one thing, but like I think that that's what's gonna set like a better team from the best team. Is just when you have the advantage, just score. Like don't hesitate. Type deal, you know what I'm saying? Like do not leave like the wounded animal down because like they'll turn back and bite, and that's what the Sooners are currently doing right now. And I was saying at the start of this, I think Oklahoma Esports go pound to pound with everybody on Texas State except for Splody. So if you hold Splody back, slow him down from having those pop-off moments, the Sooners have opportunity in this series. And that's what we're seeing right now. 3 dead again. Splody's alone. He's just going to look away from everybody else, try to hold this objective to the middle of the map, and he does a good job at letting his teammates spawn back up. I mean, it's really just Splody here. It really is. You got to try to rally off this side of the map, though. Splody, oh, he had a real good look for that one inside of tin, but Tate will find that trade. Device will reset towards front center. And Oklahoma can just play kill streak. Yeah, that's the one benefit of being on this side of the map. Put them in the blender. But now they're working their way out from the spawn. Immediate general store control. They're already past P2. Here come the Bobcats, but nobody's picked up the device.
Yeah, I mean,
boys.
Somebody's got to create it. Please.
Boys.
Another 2 dead, and Kensei's in a position where he can do exactly what Splody did to them. On the flank, nobody's going to be watching. Doa sneaks across and puts it through. 2-2 tie. Unfortunately, Kensei doesn't have the impact that Splody does have on the other end. And now you're stuck in the spawn trap. Overload device spawns up over towards the plane. And again, nobody grabs the objective.
And see, that was going to be my question if Doa was going to be able to read that. Because you have presence over by P5 and literally standing on the trading card that is the B zone for the Sooners right now. That does force the P1 spawn. See right there, presence over by P5. Device going to get picked up here now by Doa. They're going to try to rally this. Splody has top green control. Should be an easy cap and a score in its elite swap.
This is what you're worried about for Texas State Esports, is that when Splody does get hot and a few more members follow up and, you know, they're putting up kills and they're holding on to that spawn trap, Oklahoma Esports struggle in those high-pressure situations. It happened in the den, and it's happening again in the later ends of this overload. Matty Ice tries to go for the Hail Mary push down to that B objective. He's not going to be able to get it across the finish line, so back to basics. 2 minutes and 50 seconds of now Texas State Esports potentially slaying out this map.
Remember what we were talking about. There's a good side. You're currently seeing it from Texas State. The rallying from Splody through the center of the map. I mean, he had himself a good couple sprees, but there comes that supporting cast as well. To combine 60, almost 70 between Doa, Splody, and Ferg combined. Ferg under pressure, top P2. There's a lot of pressure surmounting inside of 10 as well. All 3 of the other players for the Sooners are all focused inside of 10. Nobody's here to trade out Ferg, who's on a 4 spree.
Ferg heating up in the back half. Against the den again. Doa with the objective. He falls. Lando, a double kill. Is it going to be enough to get things going, to spark some kind of a rally for your team? He's got the pistol. He's looking for Ferg, and there's another 3 dead for the Sooners. Which way do we go? A split back onto A. Tate leading the charge to the offensive push comes through. Tate's going to end up falling first, but 2 players follow up in his wake. And you need to get this objective over the finish line. No ifs and or buts. Matty still continuing to try to pave his way through. Kensei in the follow-up. Lando looking for the slide, the dance, the shimmy. He finds one, but that's all he gets. And it looks like at the goal line, the stop will go to Texas State.
It's so hard to score on this side of the map. Colin just the spawns, the top roof over by blue. Everything going against the opposition, but there's still 90 seconds left to play. Summit finds 2 in the trades. Is that enough pressure in the middle of the map for Lando to hold? Inside of P1, it is not. Splody has been existing. He runs this general store on this side of the overload device. It spawns inside of P2. Doa finds another double kill inside of the feed. He snapped over towards Tate, top side of blue. And this is looking like an easy run if they can find the kills to get their 4th.
Well, 2 go down, so fortunately enough for Oklahoma University, they don't have to worry about that objective getting pushed up just yet, but they continue to lose bodies, and as soon as somebody picks up this overload device with Doa finding that kill on the Matty Ice, here's the run coming through. Ferg finds his way past the trailers, and that lead by 1 turns into 2. Ferg will go down, but the damage has been done.
By spawning mid-map, Boomer Sooners all surrounding the middle of the map. They got to make something magical happen here. And it's going to have to be by way of Tate. Nobody's watching P3, though.
Maddie?
That plane heady goes for Summit.
Maddie?
He's over the inside of the spawn. He's going to be able to get the 3rd. It's 20 seconds, and the device doesn't spawn for another 10. But that's something magical.
Job's not done. 14 seconds. Somebody's got to grab the device, force this overtime. And at that moment, Bobcats, they know it's at risk. Everybody lined up for the goal line stop yet again. Lando's going to kick things off with a nade onto Summit. Splody in the high tower, watching over this last hurrah from the Sooners. Ferg goes down a boat. And here we go. Ken save for 2. Opening things up. It's Stowe at the goal line. Can he do the damage? Finds 1. Makes it a double kill. Last alive is going to be all up to the carrier and Tate to run across this. Ferg, does he get the kill? He does. And with that, Texas State Esports on a 3-0 sweep over Oklahoma.
That was the most janky overtime I have ever witnessed, but still nonetheless a conclusion towards the series. Splody, general manager of the general store on this side of the device. Do not mess with this man. He is absolutely filthy. But even more so than that, towards the tail end, the Sooners found themselves some sort of 5th win, where they were able to score that 3rd capture, and by doing so really put all of Texas State on the back burner to iron up for the first time it feels like since P2 on Den Hardpoint.
And you know what? It's just, you look at the Sooners team, you play so good in the first 5 minutes and the last 1 minute. It's just, there's a 4-minute break that you take and you kick your feet up, and you need to work on that. It's the same thing at the Den. It's the same thing in the overload. This Oklahoma team has the making of a team that can take maps away from the Bobcats. It's just a few mechanical errors, a little bit of a tempo change halfway through this match, and those get patched up. We're looking at a different outcome in general for a couple of these plays.
Oh, absolutely. Right at the goal line, too. Absolutely insane. And Tate just absolute goalkeeper, saving things out. That 2-piece for Doa helped things out to at least get the Bobcats on the board. Again, it's no easy feat scoring on this side of the map. You played Ranked Scar Overload, even though it is incrementally different than the way CCL, Challengers, or the pros even play it. You know that those spawns are difficult to combat against, but when Doa goes on that 6-free, it makes things even so easy. Then over towards the side swap, I mean, this is where the spawns just got over-manipulated. The spawn trap on this side of the map with 3 M15s looking at you, sometimes you just are never getting out back behind over by that A portal.
And it's even worse when you're spawning up over towards hotel. They have those free routes out into green. How do you stop that when it literally is 2 steps to get into that overload capture? Texas State Esports, the number 10 team in the top 25 with a 3-0 sweep over a number 21 team of Oklahoma Esports. We look at the last scoreboard, Andy. It was splody from start to finish, but you gotta give respect where respect is due. Doa, Ferg, Summit, all having their moments in that map number 3 to get over that finish line.
Yeah, and this time it's Splody to actually get the highest assist column for his team for the first time the entire series. And for the first time the entire series, it actually looks like he is leading in all statistical categories. So shout out Splody. It took you 3 maps to finally do it. but you did it.
Well,
I guess he's not leading kills. Sorry, that goes to Kensei, who had himself a really good latter half of like even like the search and destroy on raid, and you also had like the scar overload. Like he was really coming alive. It's just tough scenes because it's just like, albeit like the Sooners super competitive in like both the respawns, it's just the few missteps of the fundamentals that Texas State just had that much better than them. And it's just as simplistic as like the high ground, crossfires, just being able to recognize where the push is coming from and reading 3 from the front. Obviously the 4th is on the flank. These little bits is the smallest reason that always separates like the 20th from the 10th, and sometimes like the 15th to the 10th, and even all the way from like the 10th to the 5th to like the 1st sometimes when it comes down to the CCL power rankings. But I mean, what a dispersion for a 3-0 between the 10th and the 21st as far as these rankings are concerned.
You just threw a whole lot of numbers at me, Andy.
I
Real
did.
fast. I know, and I think there's a moment where you look at Oklahoma Esports, and one thing that really sucks to see is that at some point in those maps for the respawns, they just let off the gas. And as long as, you know, you can start to get that consistency going across a full respawn, I think this is a team that can really push, maybe not into the top 10, but close to the top 10 at that point. I mean, there was a lot of moments where everybody on Oklahoma really impressed me. And I think that you look across the rest of the season, there's some serious growth that can be shown from each of these individual players and as the team just in general. So with that, I think that Oklahoma Esports really putting themselves on my radar for a team that I cannot wait to see their improvement over the course of this entire season. But that is going to be it for our second match of the night, and we are running a little bit late on getting things going for our third match too. So Andy, we better cut to a break, get things ready with UST versus UTSA Roadrunners coming up next.